Hello everyone, it's Akhier, and I'm here to show you a few things, mostly stuff I've been doing for the server or figuring out on my own for the server later. You might notice this is my test world. It's got that giant farm over there, and here's my next kind of setup for a farm. Right now I just have it running off of the power link connected to a HV solar panel, but yeah, this is the most efficient placement for water for a reed farm. And I notice also I have the way that I'm collecting it. It collects it from there, and over here I have the way that I set up my I don't really have a name for what it is, but it's basically just whenever I have something coming into a place, this is how I set it up. I do teleport pipes, I go to a chest, and then from there I use a transposer and just send it to a bunch of other chests. This is the basic setup, and if I'm going to be throwing stuff in the other end, which is I've done a few times, I'll have obsidian pipe and then a teleport pipe, and that's basically all I do. Though, if, like when I was mining, I had a setup where I'd have a transposer and a chest, and I just throw, like, cobblestone. You get tons of it. So I just throw all my cobblestone, shift click it into the chest, have the timer on the lowest tick it can, and then just set it and forget it, and it would throw it into the obsidian pipe, and that's how it worked. You notice here the farm I have the 3 high things. That's because at some point I'm going to see if I can add another layer. But an important thing to note with this is that it doesn't, the optimal placing does not leave much room at all. So I'll probably end up, and it's very good at what it does anyway, so I'll probably end up using just maybe exactly a setup, I don't know, but some very simple setup, especially if I can just place it over, just basically this. And you notice I have the harvester up. I don't know how high above the actual thing you can have, but I know that you can, because I didn't test it, but I know you can have at least on height with this stuff, so that's that. Then you'll notice the weird thing I have there, it's mostly just then that, and you'll notice how that's doing that, yeah. That's something I played around with last night on the server with some people, and it would have been nice, but the mod said it would be griefing, so I feel okay putting in a public video like this so that you can all see. It wasn't really that much of anything. It's a, okay, that's a lie. It's completely something. It's, if it wasn't for the fact that how it worked, count as griefing, it would be basically a uncontrolled explosive. And by uncontrolled, I don't mean that it's not controlled. The actual explosion is very controlled, very, very precise. The way I'm setting it up right now, it will make, guaranteed, a 2x2 hole. There's only one thing, and that needs something to start. It needs something to start pulling the power out. I just use a farm because, well, they're not really that expensive, and you just need to put it on long enough. Yeah, it's daytime. For the, should be working. This is what I get for doing it without, oh yeah. It should be working if I place that there. There we go. Because I already set it up, it started pulling power. It's filling up relatively quickly because of the high power solar panel I got there. And, oh! It didn't, I'm gonna have to try that again because it works. Huh, that was weird. Oh, and one other thing. It works underwater. The explosion, if I could actually get it working. There we go. Seems to be pulling power there, but not. There we go. Yeah, it just needs something to pull the power out. And I did a lot of testing with the explosion and how it works. It is a shaped explosion. It always explodes at the same time. And you might notice it, but right before it explodes... Huh. This is really troubling me because it works. This is what I get for not testing in my single-player world first. Probably something silly like the explosions are different or something. It shouldn't be, though. But yeah, you might or might not see it, but there's a slight graphical glitch right before it explodes where the blue stream seems to come out of the pipe itself. I don't know if it'll happen. It's working. It's just not working how it should be working. Yeah. Well, like I said, that's what I get for not testing it first. Really, this is just I opened up my test world and I was building. I was gonna work around with it a little bit more, though it won't be used for anything because the explosion radius is very close. It's basically I need it right up against the thing to have it work. Yeah. What we had been using on the server to test it was basically the same setup, but instead of the high power solar, we were using one of the MFUs, I guess. Not the highest, the second. This is really conundrum. It should be working. Huh. Well, there is one other explanation. Maybe the explosion is actually specially oriented, too. Huh. That would actually explain it. Yeah, so instead of the high voltage, it was medium voltage. Just fed it directly into the thing through there, and... But yeah, it's an explosion. It's a pretty good explosion. Small and very controlled. And what I'm aiming for is basically that, except in the wall here, which, because it works underwater, because of the fact that normally the reason why explosions don't work underwater with Minecraft is because the water absorbs too much of the explosion. What the pipes do, in fact I'll run over here to where the water is real quick to show you, is just like a fence or something, there isn't any water there. So I hook that up and it's going to explode and there's no water there first, so it explodes. Now let's see what this will do. Yeah, with the testing we determined it was about for the 2x2 setup like this, it less than energy crystals of EU. I'm not sure exactly, and depending on how quickly I went back to it. The biggest problem is this thing keeps sucking power even if it's not using it. Huh. Yeah. That's even weirder, because it seems that it's actually a even more controlled explosion than I thought. Because this is basically pointing to the fact that it might actually just be an explosion that only happens in a certain orientation. Which could be useful in and of itself, really. I'm not really sure because I don't really keep track of stuff like north, south, what have you. One thing to note is that bigger is not better with this. You can make a bigger loop. The explosion just happens at a specific point. Not there. Oh wait, yeah, that worked. And, so even if you had a bigger loop, even though it explodes, if you have it big enough, it'll even leave some of the loop left over. Oh, there we go. Yeah. That's basically what I was aiming for, only not getting. I guess I should show it blowing up stuff underwater, because that's basically the big thing about it. It explodes stuff underwater. box, place yourself. I was going to use it to, well, I'm not sure if it would count as a raid, because I wasn't going to take their stuff, but there's this underwater glass dome, just regular glass. Basically anything that was, if it was on the surface, would be completely gone by now. Because it's just glass, not reinforced glass, nothing special. But because it's underwater, it's pretty much just protected by that. And I was going to crack it open. I wasn't going to take stuff. I was just going to find out if I could. And yeah, you see the whole not having water there. That's basically it. I guess it could technically be some other kind of setup, like the normal TNT stuff becomes not actually. I don't actually know if solar panels will work underwater. Might not actually. Huh. Well, interesting thing to know. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna finish showing you this, and then that'll probably be it for now. There we go, above water. Because I had already placed the thing, it requested power, I guess, or something, I don't know. But basically, it just needs to draw power into the gold pipe. And then it comes, it gets about, and then boom. There we go. Yeah, that's exactly, I guess I was facing this way when I did it. Because this is exactly what I had happen. This. I think it works better on glass, too, so it would have blown a bigger hole, but yeah. This here, there's no, except for the fact that it's grafing because you have to place it up right against the building. It, on the server, it would basically be an uncontrolled explosive. There's no rules about using the pipes. But yeah, this is basically what I wanted to do, except on a glass area, and just doop-doo, too bad, too hole. It's like most of the explosives that you get are pretty much uncontrolled in any sort of way. So having something where you can just be like, I make a 2x2 hole, guaranteed. Or apparently only guaranteed if you're facing the correct way, which actually threw me because I didn't even figure that, but yeah. I guess I'll have to do more testing with it. But yeah, that's what I've got. Optimal set of placement for water on this kind of farm here. I don't know. I haven't really played on single player, so it hasn't really collected much. But yeah, it looks like all the stuff grew to 2 height, so it should be producing like a normal reed farm soon enough. And I have also got some testing that I've been doing with using other energy sources, but it seems that the best setup is to use EU through a power link. Because here we still got it going through, and you might notice it's not. Yeah, well, first of all, I don't think no matter how many redstone engines you get, you're going to be able to overpower it. Another thing to note, it won't work with stone pipes because they lose power too much. And here you'll see it's doing that because they release pulses of power. But yeah, that's what I've been doing, and this is Akhier Dragonheart, and I'm signing off.